World Health Organization has told the BBC it believes the coronavirus pandemic will go on for a year longer than it needs to because of the unequal distribution of vaccines.
It's the question we all keep asking. When will this pandemic end?
11 confirmed cases from the Hantavirus outbreak on that cruise ship, which has killed 3 people now.
The world is not just ready. We are not ready for this. I feel lessons has not been learnt yet as regards COVID, because if it had been learnt, I see no reason why they brought these passengers aboard. Good morning. Welcome to the YouTube channel. I remain David the Nomad nurse. Welcome wherever you're watching from. It's so good to be here again. I'm happy for various reasons, and at the same time concerned. I'm happy because yesterday was my birthday, and also I got to meet one of my subscribers, and it has always been something that I've always dreamt of, to meet one of my subscribers, and she recognized me from the YouTube channel. So shout out to everyone who is watching my videos. I really do appreciate you. Remember to please do like if it's your first time, subscribe, because we share a lot of important information on this channel. So as regards my concern, today I'm quite concerned about the progress of this new virus that is running rampant today, the Hantavirus. Sometimes last week I got to see this news.
20 Britons who remain on board a cruise ship hit by Hantavirus will be taken to a hospital on the Wirral to isolate. It's thought they could arrive there as soon as tomorrow. The Honduras is expected to reach the Canary Islands overnight. Now, our correspondent Nick Dixon is in Tenerife for us. Nick, what's the...
Right, and I was a bit relieved when I discovered that the virus happened on a cruise ship and everybody was based, in the middle of the sea, in the middle of the Pacific. I was like, well, this should be a simple one. Just let them isolate right in the middle of the sea. Do not bring them, close to shore. Because if you think about the mode of transmission, there are so many uncertainties, so many things that the scientists, the epidemiologists didn't know existed that is now happening today as regards this virus, as regards its transmissibility. I felt it's best to just, it's a simple thing. Just let them be, give them supplies and everything. The incubation period is 3 months, and to my surprise I was quite left aghast when I discovered that they are coming over to Tenerife. They will be docking the ship in Tenerife, and I just shook my head because I was like, no, these people have not yet learned their lesson, because if they had, it wouldn't be a debate at all, judging by what we've gone through with COVID. I remember when the lockdown was lifted finally with COVID, someone made a statement that this won't be the last pandemic we will have. I was thinking maybe 2035, 2040 and ish, but not 2026, about 2 years after just recovered. And I feel the world is not just ready. We are not ready for this at all. But I feel lessons has not been learnt yet as regards COVID, because if it had been learnt, I see no reason why they brought these passengers aboard, because a lot of people have come online, and I feel someone really spoke my heart as regards what I feel as regards this ship docking.
What the fuck you mean? There's an airborne rodent disease that's killed 4 people on a cruise ship that got a 40% death rate, and they trying to figure out what to do. Figure out how to lead her ass out there. That's what you need to figure out. A 40% death rate? Let me help y'all with that decision. Sink that bitch. Sink that bitch. And from what I hear, tickets started at...
I wouldn't say they should sink the ship. No, that would be too extreme. But at least leave them on the sea, and then give them supply. Let that place be an incubating ground, like a ground zero for all these things that is happening. Not bring them ashore. Now, the reason why I would say they shouldn't bring them ashore is not because of the humans. We can control the humans. But you see, the mode of transmission, the animal that causes it. Maybe because I'm from Africa, I know how difficult and elusive these little rats are. They are very, very elusive. Although they said they've done a lot of things to the ship, a lot of pest control has gone on underground and everything, but with what has happened with COVID, my trust issues, I don't trust that at all, and I'm very sure I speak for a lot of people who don't trust that also, because from Africa, these little rodents, they are formidable. They procreate quite fast and massively. The pest control, I don't know to what extent the pest control is, so the best is just to leave that ship in the middle of the sea, and then give supplies to who needs supply, transport via air to the ship itself, professionals that they would need and everything, not docking them on land. But I feel we've not learned our lesson, and let's watch this.
Really look closely at the suits the Hantavirus response crews are wearing. These are...
So another issue I have with all these pandemics that we've had, especially with what I've experienced with COVID, is the level of PPE that is being provided, the level of PPE that is being advised. I feel most times they always go with economics. Most governments will want to go with whatever it is that is more cheap. Now, you can see how these guys are well protected from this. And I can tell you or bet you, if this comes to the mainstream on mainland, hospitals here and there, it will come to the extent where they will tell you a simple face mask would help, or if a simple face mask with one nylon thingy will help. Because I remember vividly when COVID started, this was exactly, if not even more, how people that newly discovered the virus were dressed. Ebola style, Ebola typical type of things. Then it was watered down to the N95 and co. And then before you know it, the simple face mask. I know I didn't study epidemiology, but I know, the little I know is that there's always a reason why people are well protected, because it's the same strain we're talking about. These guys are well protected from this virus because we're not superhumans. You don't expect us to take just face mask and then be protected, because I can tell you that is where this is going if this turns out to be a massive pandemic, which we will get to, by the way, because I don't think this will just end with the infected individuals on the ship. It's much more massive. It's much more than that. So stay tuned.
Not ordinary protective suits. These are full-level, maximum containment biohazard suits, the kind you rarely see outside of the most feared laboratories on Earth. Notice the completely sealed hoods, the powered air respirators that breathe for them, the double-layered gloves, the boots wrapped and taped so tightly there isn't a single millimeter of exposed skin. Every inch of their bodies is locked away, as if the air itself could kill them. Why the extreme? Most haunted.
So anyway, you get the point as regards the protection that is required for this virus. So take note of that, because that was how COVID started, and then everything got watered down, which is why a lot of healthcare workers got infected. Because I remember that I also got infected, and I followed every single advice that they gave us. Everybody in my family had it at some point. So it's quite sad that at some point the government will start putting finances, economy over the health of the people, and that is if they are not the ones that even started this in the first instance, because it's still mind-boggling why that ship would have to leave the middle of the sea to land or to dock. Anyway, to the next video.
Like this,
so
but I feel like I need to say something.
I quite feel for this passenger. I saw his video sometimes last week, and I felt if the role was reversed and I was the one, though I don't pray for something horrible to happen to me, but if the role was reversed, I would quite understand. I'll take one for the team. That's how I would put it. Maybe because I'm a healthcare worker and I've seen a lot. I lost a lot of patients. I've seen the devastation that COVID did on the vulnerable, most especially. I feel it's not too much to ask for you to stay for 3 months. I know you have a life to live, you have families you want to get back to, but if you love your family so much and you have the chance of passing something that is very deadly to them, I'm sure you wouldn't mind to just stay for about 3 months for them to confirm that you are clear. And like I said, I might be speaking from the point of perspective of a healthcare worker that has gone through a lot of horrible things during COVID. So I feel 3 months, because I think the 3 months is the window period. 3 months is not too much to ask for, even 4 or 5 or 6, for the sake of your family members. It's not like the world is forgetting you. They want to forget you where you are at, but just see it's like something you have to do for the world to be able to be safe. Anyway, let's watch on.
So I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now, I just ask for your kindness and understanding. Thank you.
And yeah, like I said, quite understand. I feel for him, but I will take a fall for my family if it will come to that. And I wouldn't mind staying an extra 1 month, even on top of the 3 months, in as much as they are safe and the whole world is safe, because I've seen a lot of people who lose their life unnecessarily due to a pandemic. Anyway, to the next video. Quite a funny one. It's quite a funny one, but it gives a bit of perspective onto what is actually going on. all those viruses, you keep wondering where they stem from, how they've originated, and why they've run rampant. Why do we have a lot of failings on this pandemic? It's quite sinister what's actually going on, because from the news that I've seen, when the whole news started, they started with the news that this virus stemmed from Argentina, from where the ship had its sail. But even the Argentines has actually declined or denied the notion that they are the cause of this Hantavirus. So where has it stemmed from? And another thing that is quite mind-boggling is the fact that I read an article of one of the scientists that has worked with this strain, because this is a different strain of this virus, the Nomad strain. This other strain, because the virus is not new, it's this strain that is actually new. There's a strain he worked with, the Nomad, is that strain that the variant of virus actually that is passed from the little rat to human, but not from human to human. Now, the one we're seeing today, and the reason why it's causing a lot of panic, is because the one we see today is being passed between human to human. Normally, the normal strain of this virus is passed between rats and human, and this scientist is quite concerned because when they started, they didn't have an idea what was actually going on. But eventually, when they found out what was going on, it took a lot of effort to be able to eradicate the cause, which was the rats, which is why I keep wondering and I keep asking today, why did this ship dock? Why did you have to bring? And the funny thing is that almost every national around the world is on this ship. You have the Americans, you have the Brits, you have the French, a lot of people, and all these people, not only did they allow them dock, they've all been repatriated back to their countries with the virus. The news this morning says one of the French national that was on the ship itself has confirmed and tested positive to the virus. So I would say with a high chance of them having the virus, they were repatriated back to their countries when, one, we don't even know the source. We don't have a clear idea about this virus. We don't even have a safe-proof vaccine, and we'll get to the vaccine part anyway. But it's quite mind-boggling. The Brits that were part of the ship, they landed yesterday in Britain, in Manchester, a few hours away from me here. So it's still mind-boggling. Number one, we had a lot of failings during COVID by the epidemiologists and the scientists. A lot of doctors were indicted. A lot of people, took a fall for it. Even up to the Prime Minister, that declared they didn't handle it properly and they could have done better. And sure, a lot of people too feel the same way I feel right now, that they could have done better with this because nature had already secluded these people, but yet we went to bring them to land. I still see no reason why we should have, or why that decision was made. From a healthcare point of perspective, I would say unfortunately, we've not learned our lesson. We haven't at all. Now, there was a news I saw yesterday also about one of the suspected cases in one of the remote islands in Britain that paratroopers had to drop in supplies for, and it gave me that idea, like, okay, if you guys have the access to remote islands like this, why not just leave the ship in one of these remote islands and be sending stuff to them without having connection or communication, anything to just seclude these people, at least for the meantime. And it's quite mind-boggling, it's surprising that they've made this decision. Anyway, without just rambling, one question I would like to ask also is, if the Argentines are saying this virus has not stemmed from them, and this virus is so rare that nobody has heard about it before, this strain most especially, why is it happening now? And I want people to ask themselves this question: do you think, because I'm very sure a lot of cover-up is going on. I'm very sure, because it took a lot of people getting infected before governments came out to say we have a pandemic in our hand. And I feel the same thing is happening today too, because you think about all these passengers, before they got aboard the ship, they must have used other means and method of transportation. I've seen a lot of documentaries, I've seen a lot of movies, and one that sticks to me is this movie that, where they were trying to do contact tracing back to the source of an infection. You think about the flights that these passengers must have taken to board the ship, every passenger that must have come across them. These same passengers are in various parts of the world right now. Who knows what they are incubating? Because I think they said from the point of infection to when the signs start showing is about 3 weeks. That is a long time for a lot of people to have been infected, which is one of the reasons why I still keep asking why they had to dock the ship. But it's just me rambling today. I'm not quite happy with what is going on today, and I feel a lot of things will still go on in the background. There's a website that is currently tracking this Hantavirus case. Sometimes it fails, sometimes it doesn't, but it currently shows that there's 3 deaths, 4 confirmed cases, and that about 7 suspected cases with 147 exposed. I'm very sure that number will keep increasing because this virus is quite a potent one. I wouldn't want this video to go on for too long, so I will want to end it here. I remain David the Nomad Nurse, and I hope the government will be able to do better as regards handling cases like this. And I pray that this would just be a blip to show a lot of people in the helm of affairs that there's a better way of doing things. Now think about it. The World Cup is coming. A lot of war here and there is going on. Do you think they will want to share this news, with how fragile currently the state of the economy and the world is? Ask yourself that question. I remain David the Nomad Nurse. See you on the next one. Cheers.